Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Yep. So I hope you're all having a wonderful start of Thursday. Thursday. Yeah, actually Thursday. Did I get lost in the days already? Yes, it's Thursday. I thought it was Wednesday. Fantastic, even better. Look, guys, welcome everyone. As I said, yep. So welcome to the Easy Markets Daily Pitch International. Where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts. We'll see how everything's getting along in our crazy economy. But yeah, before we go any further, as always, we have to quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little corner in there, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so I hope you can hear me and see me well. Yeah, guys. So yeah, let's see what can we do with this market, this crazy market. Honestly, right before we jump into that, let's quickly have a just quick mentioning actually of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. I believe you can find some useful information here, so do check us out here on easymarkets.com. Right, now then, Nikkei 225. Okay, look, very interesting activity here. So far, this highlighted zone of mine is holding. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, again, so far the technical scenario is playing out nicely. Because of what I said before, that as long as we stay above this territory, above that highlighted zone, which is roughly between the 30,663 and 720 levels, we will kind of remain somewhat bullish. But again, of course, there is a lot of negativity right now in everywhere, and I'll get to that in a bit. A lot of negative factors that are kicking in, so yeah, we need to kind of consider all that. And in general, some of you might say, but hey, look, we had quite a decent rally already. Maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. Well, you're not wrong there, but what I tend to go from is, or by, are the confirmation breakouts and confirmation. My little confirmations for me are the most important thing. So if I get those, great, I'll do something about it. If I don't, you know, for example, yesterday, okay, we did drop below this territory, below that hurdle. We did fall below this, below my highlighted zone right here, but we failed to stay below it. For me, that's quite important. Yes, when you break something, that's one step, one part of the kind of the scenario. The other parts of the scenario is to stay either above or below a certain, target. So in this case, for me, yeah, as you can see, it gave me a false breakout. That's not something that I really like. Or in other words, if you want to try to squeeze a positive from all of that, then you might say, hey, but at least it confirmed that this territory is quite an important one to watch. There we go. I twisted it in a way that to make it sounded more positive. But look, long story short, for now, I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, there is still potential for this one to move to the upside, as long as we stay above this highlighted zone. If we start falling below it, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside, because don't forget that any move lower up until this upside line for now could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So just keep that in mind. ASX 200, so beautiful breakout finally. So look, Well, I talked about this a lot, and from the beginning of this week, I told you to keep an eye on this territory. And look, also what I said to you that let's exclude this drop, because I said this little thing here it seems to be like a possible bullish flag. But what I always say the same thing: don't go in too early, because this is what you get. This is the thing that what you get if you're impatient and you go in early. Because look, initially, without, let's say, these last two candles, initially it was looking like a nice, beautiful bullish flag, and like, hey, let's maybe take advantage of that. But what I said to you, that still I will get comfortable with the upside scenario only from around here, from around that 7,315 territory, because a break above that would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and not to mention a break of this downside line. So all that would work out perfectly. For now, I would say this, that if you're looking for some further declines, well, in a way, we could get those, because as long as we stay below the 200-day EMA, I'm leaning towards the downside. And of course, the whole kind of issue with, debt ceiling and the new thing again, or the new old thing again, COVID. Okay, there are a lot of talks right now that China could be suffering from all that again. So, okay, look, I think that everybody's kind of already. It's like a new old thing. I mean, a new old topic, but. I think that we've learned certain things from the past. So again, let's take that. Okay, we'll keep that somewhere in the back of our heads. But honestly, to get back to all that, thank you very much. But anyway, coming back to this, in a way, I think that ASX 200 could also be a little bit kind of, let's say, if the whole kind of debt ceiling continues and this whole COVID thing again starts showing up, then yeah, we could see ASX 200 actually taking a bit of a hit, because again, we know that it's heavily reliant on the US and on China specifically, probably more China than the US, but let's continue monitoring the situation. For now, what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to, let's say, drag this one way too much, let's say, to the downside or something like that. No, I'm just going to aim initially for that 7,131 level, because that was my initial target. I'm still aiming for that, and then I'll take it from there. If we break this one, okay, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed, and then, further declines could be possible. Now, China 50, the FTSE China 50 index. Okay, look, I talked about this idea here recently and the beginning of this week. I said to keep your eyes on the lower side of the range, where we were currently at, and we broke that. We're seeing a further decline. So everything's working out. So if you were following me, guys, and I mean, yeah, you probably know, you know that I was talking about this for quite a while now. And look, okay, what's next? Where the next possible support level could be? Well, one of my targets here is getting reached, or already got reached, the 12,595, or in general the 12,600 territory. So I reached that tick. Now, I mean, I have my arrow somewhere floating in here. But what I'm gonna do here is I don't really have a level. Maybe something around these lines. Let me just put this on the chart. Maybe around these. Oh, not this, like that. There we go. Around that 12,000. That's what I will be aiming for if we do stay below that 12,600 territory. If we do stay below it, yes, like I said, further declines are possible. For the upside, well, probably I will stick to the EMAs. I mean, ideally, my scenario is from around here, but let's say once the EMAs start shifting a little bit more to the downside here, maybe those could come in nicely. And if you're looking, let's say, for an entry at an earlier stage, maybe a consideration of the EMAs could be possible. However, this and this, these two kind of, show that don't really rely on them too much. So it's a good indication if you're trying to find some sort of justification. Yes, the EMAs in this case could be a good option, but still keep an element of the doubt that it could easily twist against you and turn against you and just kind of like in this scenario, for example, probably the bulls were jumping in, pushing higher. Then they failed, then they tried again, they failed again, and so on and so on. And this is where the bears kind of kicked in, because they, after we fell below all the EMAs, the index drifted further south. But anyway, we broke the lower side of the range. That was for me the most important thing, and now I'm still continuing to the downside, aiming to the downside. Only as long as we stay below the 12,600 territory, because again, this was my initial target. We reached that. Now I'm curious if this is going to provide some sort of a support or something, maybe for a bit of a rebound. But if it doesn't, then yes, further declines are possible. Nasdaq. Okay, guys. So that's why we have I have NVDA in my heading of my video. Some of you who follow stocks, you know that yesterday we got the results of NVIDIA. Okay, this is where I'm going to be very controversial and not very straightforward and not in line maybe with the market or something. I'm going to be that contrarian. Let's put it this way, right? Look, the report was good, great, wonderful. They have these. The report, the earnings were fantastic. Okay, I'm trying to kind of formulate this in a correct way. But what's interesting was that the stronger than an expected forecast for AI and the demand for AI. Yes, if all that continues, the whole AI thing continues. Yes, NVIDIA for sure could be that big gainer, and they could benefit from all that because they're kind of in a way, I would say, part of the oligopoly in the world of who's doing all these chips. Look. Yesterday, for example, we had a decline. Yesterday, the indices in the US were declining, and they were feeling the heat because of the whole debt ceiling show. It's like they were not like, they're still struggling to agree on stuff like that. But I mean, as I said to you in the beginning, that this will continue. They have a deadline, apparently a deadline, the 1st of June. But will they stick to that? Will we go beyond that? I think that the market in general, they all like to, have this show that, it is important. But I think that certain things can be reached earlier. I mean, you're talking about your downgrade of your economy and your country and the downgrade of your reliability. So to allow that to happen, I don't know. I mean, unless, like I said, they will allow it in a little bit, and then suddenly they will, we'll have a sell-off or something, and then suddenly they will understand, and then we'll reach an agreement or something like that. But honestly, okay, I'll say it this way. Let's continue observing the price action. Let's continue observing the show, and we'll try to just position ourselves accordingly, correctly, and carefully. Now, looking at Nasdaq here from the technical perspective, look, I talked about this recently, and I said to you that, look, for me to go higher, I need to see a nice good push here above this 13,960 territory, or in a way that psychological 14,000 mark, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. I'm still going to stick to that. Yesterday, you can see that we fell below the 13,740, but how nicely we fell. We almost tested my upside line here and reversed back up and back above, and stayed above the 13,740 zone. Look, we still have some room maybe for some upside here up until this 14,000 mark. Maybe, you know, we could go here, we could test it out, and then, like I said, yeah, don't forget that we're in this mini range, here, where at the moment it's no man's land. Once we start clearing one of the sides here, then that's where it's going to start getting a little bit more exciting. Well, at least for me. Dow, yeah, that one, no NVIDIAs were in the Dow, and nobody had to, you know, no Dow component saved the day here for the Dow. Dow just kind of collapsed here and broke through my 33,000 mark, and I was very happy about this, because again, I talked a lot about this, and I said to you that if we clear this territory, I'll go lower. Now, I have my arrow somewhere floating around here because I don't really have an exact level, to be honest, because all this noise here, I mean, okay, look, ideally my scenario would be somewhere towards aiming for the 32,000, but will I get that? Look, I don't know. I really don't know, honestly, because maybe we'll have a hold up somewhere near the 32,000 and a half. Good potential target in a way. Well, we can actually target that. Let's say that's the low of the 28th of March. So maybe that could be a nice potential target. But either way, as long as we stay below the 33,000 territory, I will go lower. If we do climb back above it, that's where I'm going to take a neutral stand, because for me, the upside scenario will come somewhere from around here, from around a break of this downside line taken from the high of the 1st of May. The German index, DAX, and there we go. Beautiful. Honestly, this one so far is working out nicely. Beautiful technical picture. Look, I talked about this, and I warned you guys about the 16,063 territory. That was the upper barrier of the range that where we were previously. So yeah. We fell back below it. Yesterday I said to you that if we do fall back below it, I will consider a move lower, but then all eyes are on that 15,800 territory, which, by the way, nicely almost coincides with the 50-day EMA. So everything's working out nicely. Look, I think I have too many highlighted territories here, but I think I'm going to stick to, well, actually, you know, I like them all. For now. Normally I don't do that, but I like them all for now. The 15,800, if we break that, then I'll aim for the 15,700 territory. And if we clear that one, that's where it could open the door towards that 100-day EMA here on my daily chart, which could be a fantastic target. So let's stick to that for now, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention yesterday the Fed. Yeah, when I was talking about the Dow and the Nasdaq. So look, the Fed yesterday, the minutes came out, and then again, no clarity. Some say that, you know, we need to slow down with the interest rate hikes. Another part of the Fed says that, oh, we need to continue because we're far from our inflation target, and blah blah blah, and so something like that. What's more interesting is this. So we're getting into this, we're getting into that, you know, closer to that 50%, as I wanted to say. So if you remember, I keep on saying this I'm honestly, I'm going to stick to that up until 14th of June. I'm going to show you this chart, because honestly, for me, it's very interesting to see that we are slowly climbing back to that 25 basis points. So it's, in a way, the market is still unclear with all that, all this debt ceiling, and, you know, still some positive numbers, economic data numbers. It's a little bit out of balance, and I think it's all over the place. It's just jumping around all the time. So I will stick to my guns that before the meeting, at some point before the next meeting, the 14th of June, we'll have the 25 basis points here. The probability for a 25 basis point rise closer to 50%. I'm sticking to that, because look, and after that previous meeting, we had 99% here, and said that don't rush, because we still have a bunch of data to go through. Like tomorrow's, for example, we do have the PCE inflation number coming out, so that's going to be very, very interesting. Today, by the way, in terms of economic data, U.S. will deliver its preliminary GDP numbers. And of course, as usual, the Thursday's initial and the continuous jobless claims numbers. That's going to be interesting to see as well. Pending home sales, something to watch out later on. But yeah, like I said, there's a bunch of data that still needs to be considered, and that's why, you know, we will still, I'm going to stick to that idea that we might still see some, you know, this probability rising all the way to 50%, or at least closer to that. So, but again, I'm no psychics, so maybe I'm going to be wrong. DAX. So yeah, like I said, that's the scenario in DAX. Sorry that I've jumped off from DAX a little bit, but anyway, you got the picture here. So in terms of the upside, probably what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep an eye on that 16,063 zone. Because if we do push back above it, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside. Again, dollar index. So there we go. Beautiful move. There we honestly, look, I talked about this, guys, as well. I said to you that for me to go higher, I need to see a push above that 200-day EMA, which was roughly around that 103.55 territory, and boom, there we go. We got that move. So what's next? Well, I do have a very good target around here. This 104.72 territory. Now, let's put it this way. As long as we continue to trade above that 200-day EMA, even if we do retrace at some point, but like I said, as long as we stay above this area, I will continue targeting the upside. Simple as that. For me to start looking at some lower levels, previously I talked about this 102.74, but I think it's time to adjust. And if we do drop below the 103.55 territory right here, that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more sellers. Yeah, that's simple as that on dollar index, DXY. Yeah, and let's see how this is going to play out. Gold. There we go. That's the roller coaster that I was talking about, guys. Look, yesterday when we were testing that this downside line, we were testing that 50-day EMA. I said to you that as long as we stay below that, I will still lean towards the downside, and as long as we also stay below that 1977 territory right here, look at how well this is playing out. Honestly, this, I'm just loving it. Yeah, look, for now, long story short, I will, continue targeting the downside. My next target is around the 1950 territory. We're not far from that, only about $6 away. So, and then below that, I do have my other favorite target, which will be, in general, I'm kind of targeting the 1945 zone. Something like that, because we have the 100-day EMA around there. Maybe if we do clear that, even better. Why? Because I have an upside line, which I would like to see a test of. This upside line is taken from the low of the 3rd of November of 2022. Can we get that test? Of course, we can, but the question is, will we? Everything is possible, but for now, let's go slowly, step by step. My first target is the 1950. If we clear that, then it's 1946, 45, or should I say 45 area. And then if that gets cleared, well, that's where I'm going to go further south. For the upside, a break back above this downside line is required, and a push back above the 50-day EMA is needed as well. Simple as that. Silver. Okay, look, I have to say with silver, yesterday I said to you that I consider this scenario where, for example, whenever we have like this, a strong candle to the downside and then a gradual decline, then it tends to kind of break to the upside. This is what I was talking about yesterday. But I said to you that either way, you need to wait for a confirmation break. You cannot really assume that and just gonna, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go long and then and everything is gonna be well. No, this is exactly the moment that you get. So I said to you previously that as long as we stay inside this or below this 23.52 territory, there is still a good chance to go and test the 200-day EMA. Well, we got that test. Perfect. Now what's next? Well, I think that this has to be redrawn a little bit. Or actually, is this going to work? Yeah, in a way, we're getting like something of a possible like broadening triangle pattern or like broadening wedge, if that's a thing in general. I mean, the broadening triangles, yes, broadening wedge. Okay, let's call it something like new, because apparently, like if you look at people nowadays, I mean, everybody's kind of creating their own giving names to their the same indicator, but which was called in textbooks it's called one thing, but actually they're naming it something else. So honestly, rather just learn this textbook and but in order to stick to the trend and be modern, I'll name it as a broadening veg. But anyway. Look, for now, long story short, if you're looking for some lower levels at this point, I think that the best option is to just keep an eye on the 200-day EMA. If we clear that, then yes, it could open the door towards some slightly lower levels. We do have that 22.82 territory right here, but I will aim for this this downside line, basically, which is kind of acting as a support line. So yeah, I'm going to aim for that. Maybe we could get something. Oh, not the wrong line. Maybe we could get something in around these lines, something maybe like a rebound here, and then a push back to the upside. So again, for now, like I said, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna aim lower if we do drop below the 200-day EMA. If we do stay above this, then I will maybe consider a move back to the upside here, but still. Well, I would prefer to see some higher levels from around here, to be honest, from a break of this downside line and this upper, this resistance downside line. Let's call it this way. And then, I'll consider more buying interest. Oil. Okay, so stalling near the 74 territory. Okay, yesterday we broke the 74 zone and we pushed higher, but we failed to stay. That's what I need. I need to see this staying above this. So. In general, I think that Saudis are kind of warning all the short sellers that there could be pain for them because if the OPEC Plus decides to go with the production cuts, then we could see oil surging again here. Now, look, for now, there's a lot of ifs. Will they do that, or let's say by how much they will do that? That's probably interesting. Maybe that they will cut. Okay, we'll take that. But by how much? That's a question. I mean, that will be substantial to hurt the short sellers. I would say let's wait and see. For now, what I'm doing here is I'm still keeping an eye on that 74 territory as long as and of course I'm keeping an eye on that 50-day EMA. If we push through that 50-day EMA, there could be more buying interest and more buyers joining in, and our next target could be the 100 and the 200-day EMAs. I don't have any specific level yet. Maybe I could put this on the chart here, this area around that 77 zone. Yeah, okay, good potential target, but let's stick to the EMAs for now, especially to the 100-day EMA and to the 50-day EMA, because if we stay above the 50-day EMA, then yes, higher levels could be met. Bitcoin, look at this, looking good. We dropped nicely below the 26,550 territory, and we fell below the 100-day EMA as well. So long story short, I'm still leaning towards the downside. Simple as that. As long as we stay below the 100-day EMA here, shown as the green line, I'm leaning towards that 200-day EMA. I'm not really doing much here. And the fact that we have DXY pushing nicely to the upside, well, guess what? BTC USD, what could happen with the BTC USD? Yes, it could go lower. And we're still waiting for the the results from, unless they came out and I didn't the results around lawsuit. So yeah, basically, okay, that's going to be interesting to see. I need to dig into that Ripple story again, because for now, it's unclear what's going to happen. They're still going. So basically, if it comes out in favor of the SEC, well, guess what? We could see some selling here across the board, not only in Ripple, but also in other cryptos. So just keep that in mind, guys. Litecoin, there we go. mission accomplished. Honestly, I talked about this. I said to you yesterday that if we do fall below that 38.2, I will go lower. I'll aim for the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. Then I'll aim for the 61. And look at this. I mean, honestly, just tick, 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 perfect, boom, boom, you know. And also the 200-day EMA provided fantastic support. Yes, it gave us a false breakout here, but that's fine. Look, it gave us a breakout. It tested the 61.8, found support there, rebounded back up, pushed back above the 200-day EMA. It's currently sitting above it. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the Fibonacci's because that's done. We're done with that. All good. Now, what's next? Look. What I would say here is that, in general, the idea that I've mentioned before as well, that if we do fall below the EMAs here, before I have drawn the Fibonacci's, I said that if we do fall below these two EMAs, the 50 and the 100, I will aim for the 200-day EMA. Good result, fantastic. Now what's next? Well, I'm gonna draw this arrow a little bit lower, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the 200-day EMA. If we do drop and stay below it, I will go towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 9th of November of 2022, and then we'll just take it from there, basically, because maybe we'll rebound, maybe we won't. But at this point, let's just keep it short and simple. That's what I like. And yep, this could be a nice good target to consider. In terms of the upside, I would need to see a push back above all of the EMAs on my daily chart, and then I'll get comfortable with some higher levels. Now let's jump into a few pairs, guys. Okay, a lot to talk about. I do have a bunch of instruments, and I do have a lot of Australian and New Zealand instruments. Let's put pairs. Look, let's start off with AUDUSD. I talked about this idea here previously. I said to you, look, if we do fall below all of the EMAs here, although while we are still in this range, if we do fall below all of the EMAs here, then yes, I'll lean towards the downside, where my ideal target will be the 0.6564. Tick, tick. Then I said to you that if we do drop below this territory, below this hurdle, that's near the lower side of the range where we were at that time. Then yes, this could open the door towards some lower levels. Well, we're getting that breakout now, and we're still staying below it. So in a way, I'm saying that yes, further declines are possible. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to aim for that 0.64 territory right here. Yes, I do have the level of 0.6386. Yes, that's a good potential target, but to be honest, I am going to stick to that 0.64 territory. I'm going to aim for that, and then we'll just go from there. But I will aim for that only if we do stay below the lower side of this range. If we start climbing back inside, this is where I need to redraw some of the arrows. I think that, yeah, let's do it this way. We'll recycle some of these arrows. Always recycle, guys. There's a hidden message for you there. We have a downside line, which is this. Yeah. Can I put this? Yep, there we go. We have a downside line. So if we do push above it and we break it and we stay above it, yes, this will kind of, this could open the door towards some higher levels. And especially I'm also keeping an eye on that 0.6605 territory, which could be a nice, good little target here because it acted as a good area of support previously. Now it maybe could be taken as a resistance, and if we break it, yeah, no, you know the drill. More buyers could join in and stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be my upside scenario. But then the problem which I have, let's say if we break this downside line, I have the problem with the EMAs. So I'm not going to really ideally, let's say, target this. Okay, that's my ideal scenario, the 0.6793 territory, somewhere around here. No, I'm going to aim for the 50 and the 100-day EMAs initially, and then we will take it from there. We'll see what's happening. Can we clear it? Can we not? You know, but let's go slowly on this. AUDJPY, also something that I mentioned. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but so far so good. I've talked a lot already about this pair, and I said to you that for me, in order to go higher, I need to see a push above the 92.42 territory. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 91.32 territory right here. And then I'll aim for the 200-day EMA, the 100 and the 50-day EMAs. So far, I've reached one of my targets here, the 200-day EMA. Can we clear that? If we do, let's say, continue to trade below this 91.32 territory, I will continue targeting the downside. Simple as that. AUDNZD, look at this rocket ship. So we broke the downside line and we pushed above the 50-day EMA. This is what I talked about yesterday. I said to you that if we do push through this territory that I just mentioned, I will go higher. My next target is the 100-day EMA and then the 200-day EMA. First, I will aim for the 100-day EMA, and then I'll take it from there. Look, if we suddenly, let's say, fail to reach the 100-day EMA, another thing to always consider is that if you're aiming for something like that, just aim for the area near that. Don't aim exactly for the test. Unless you can afford to, run it, okay, you can gamble then. But if we're, let's say, getting closer to the 100-day EMA, and you can see that it's just struggling to go further to test that exact area, just kind of, or exact level, just honestly take your profits and run. If it goes a little bit further north, and then after that, after you close the position and it goes and tests it, that's fine. That's okay. You don't have a crystal ball. How would you know that? So, it's okay. It's all fine. For the downside, look, what I would like to say, take a conservative approach here on the downside. 1.0635, something around these lines. A drop below this may attract a few more sellers into the game, and then yes, more downside could be possible. AUDCAD, another one of my favorite pairs now. AUDCAD, look, apart from this little hiccup, I call it a hiccup, because in a way, I was talking about this before. I said to you that if we do drop below the 0.8958 territory, yes, this could open the door to some lower levels. And yeah, it did. But I think that I have to admit that I have drawn the wrong level. A better one should have been drawn. Not that I've drawn a wrong level, but a better one should have been drawn. And I admit that maybe, and what I mean is that, look, I was looking at this territory right here, but actually I think that I should have just marked this low, the lowest point of April, and just stuck to it. So, yep, that's kind of, I would say, because that played out much better. The 0.8944 area. So we fell below it. And yeah, it initially provided good support because that was the lowest point of is the lowest point of April. It provided good support back here in mid-May, and then like going into like Tuesday. On Tuesday we broke it again, and we've drifted further south. So in other way, my scenario is working out, but not exactly how I initially anticipated. Well, these things happen. They have to admit that. But in general, the target is getting reached. So kind of, this is where I'm happy and I'm not at the same time. So look, long story short, for now, we're getting a hold up near this territory right here. And to be honest, given that my target has been reached, that's great. Now I'm just going to observe this, and I think I'm going to redraw this. I'm going to take this highlighted zone here, and I'm going to use it right there. So in order for me to go further south, I need to see a drop below this territory. In order for me to go higher, what I need here is, first of all, adjust a few levels. This one right there. What I would like to see here is probably a push above this downside line. That's what I would like to see in order to go to the upside. I'm going to stick to that game plan for now, and then I will go from there. NZD, so the whole the RBNZ aftermath continues. So look, yesterday we got the rates. They've increased by 25 basis points. The rate went to 5.5. Okay, like the market didn't like that. I think because in a way, I think that maybe they're seeing that maybe the thing is that maybe the market participants now are seeing that actually New Zealand economy is not doing that good. However, the indicators show the opposite. So but maybe this aggressiveness of the RBNZ, maybe they kind of spooked the bulls here from the field, and yep, that's what we're getting right now. So long story short, what we can do next? Well, first of all, I think that yes, given that my target got reached yesterday, look, I was aiming for this upside line, And I talked about this, and I even talked about this on Tuesday as well. I said to you that if we do fall below these EMAs, I will go lower towards this upside line. Boom, mission accomplished. Now I need to figure out what to do next. Well, first of all, I'm going to mark these levels, these support areas, which where we are currently stuck in. We're stuck in between them. So if you're looking for some further declines on this one, well, this is where the tricky bit comes in. In a way, yes, there is still potential for some more downside, but we do have a bunch of levels here that could play out. So I would say just be a little bit cautious with the further declines. Look, I've marked a bunch of these levels, but to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of all these levels. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let's put it this way, I'm gonna continue monitoring this lowest point of March. If we do, because that's, in a way, that's the lowest point, that was the previous lowest point of this year, because today we've created a new low for this year, because this is where we started the year. That was the low initially, then we created this new low, and today we've created a new low for this year. Now, can we go further south? Now, that's a good question. Or will we actually start forming something like this? Just bear with me one moment. Will we do something like this, guys? Well, I'm not excluding this scenario, because maybe this is a nice little range. If why did it go this way? There we go. So maybe this is just a nice, beautiful little range, or I don't know, maybe it's wrong to call it little, but yeah, something like that, you know. Now, in terms of the upside, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep an eye on this little hurdle here, the 0.6182. If we do push back above it, this may attract a few more buyers into the game, but I think that more of them could start joining in if we do break this downside line taken from the high of the 11th of May. And if we do, let's say, start moving sideways here a little bit, and then maybe, you know, we're going to go here somewhere, and then we're going to start breaking this territory, then maybe everything will align itself naturally, you know, with this little hurdle and with this downside line. But just a little speculation here, guys. This upside line needs to go, no longer needed. So now I'm just purely sticking to this. So look, if this territory, this the level here is the 0.6085, yep, approximately around here. If this territory continues to provide good support, then maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible. NZDCHF, also a beautiful one. Look, I've mentioned this yesterday. I've aimed for this target, the 0.5548. We've surpassed that. We found support near the 0.5511. That's fine, but not the most exciting level, because again, the more exciting level is around here, the 0.5482. Yeah, look, I've talked about this as well. I said to you yesterday that if we do fall below this hurdle, I'll go further south. We found good support around here, and this is what like I said, this is what I mentioned yesterday. We found good support here, and now we're seeing a bit of a rebound. Well, this scenario has worked out nicely, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stick to something around these lines. So something like this maybe. So if we do push back up, but this downside line is no longer needed. 0.5548. If we do push back up a bit here, if this area provides good resistance, another decline could be possible. If we're looking for some higher levels, a push back above this territory, the 0.5548 territory, will be needed. NZDJPY, just a quick update on this one as well. Beautiful move. I talked about this, and I said to you that if we break this upside line, I will go towards this territory right here. Let's have it in here. Yeah, I'll go for... did I just remove? Yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, there we go. So I'll go for this territory somewhere here, maybe towards the 50-day EMA. Well, we got close to that, and basically, long story short, we remain below this upside line. Okay, that's fine. So that's great. This scenario is working out nicely. If you're looking for some upside here, I would say, guys, be careful, because again, there is still more downside to come, or potentially could be. Because again, I think that we might still end up drifting towards the 50-day EMA. I think that what's happening here, the way everything's shaping up, I think that who's going to be coming in, people who missed out on this drop here. So, you know, and to be honest, there's a good potential target here, the 50-day EMA, or even some other EMAs here, but first, let's aim for this red one here, the 50-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. Then we'll test this territory, and maybe we'll rebound, or, you know, then we can maybe consider a bit of a rebound, something like that. But at this point, I'm just observing the price action on this one, and and leaning a little bit more towards the downside, to be honest. USDJPY, different story. Boom, there we go. Look, we broke my barrier, the 138.75. I talked about this barrier, and I said to you that my next territory is the area near the 139.90. We came very close. I'll take that. That's what I keep talking about all the time, that whenever you come very close like that, then just enjoy your profits, take it, you know. Okay, maybe it'll go further north. That's fine. You know, maybe you can reposition yourself somewhere here, but at this point, look, I'm quite happy. Fibonacci's have to go. They worked initially, now they don't. So yeah, but the level here worked out perfectly, this 138.75. We broke that and we climbed higher. Now what's next? Well, I'm aiming for this 139.90 still. I want to see what's going to happen here. Will we get a hold up or not? If we don't, then yes, further acceleration to the upside is possible. And yeah, we could go here. What's wrong here? There we go. So we could go further north. My next target is the 142.24 level. For the downside, well, for the downside, I would like to see a drop back below the 138.75 territory in order to consider some lower levels here. Not this one, probably this one instead, the 137.58. USDCAD, very quickly on that one. I'm trying to rush through this a little bit because I have still a few instruments to go through. Because again, I do have a few pairs left and not much time. So USDCAD, boom, there we go, fantastic breakout. I talked about this. I said to you that I'm going to consider the upside only if we do push above the 1.3568. Did I get that? Great, I got that. Now what's next? As long as we stay above this territory right here, my next target is the 1.3668. Look, this is my ideal scenario because maybe we'll end up with testing somewhere this territory in between these two levels, between the 1.3640 and the 1.3668. That's why I'm going to draw this arrow this way. This is my ideal scenario, but I'm not excluding the fact that we could drift higher a little bit, test this area, and then maybe, you know, correct back down. We can now use, oh no, before I just wanted to, you know, remove this downside line and reuse it, but no, actually, I'm gonna keep it because why? I'm gonna stick to my game plan. When we have a break of a downside line, it seems like we tend to test it from the other side. You know, so not only the downside line, but the upside line as well. So whenever we break a trend line, there is a good probability that we might get, you know, we might drift back down and test it from the other side. And then once the bulls are ready again, for example, in this case, we could see a push back up. But again, that doesn't happen all the time. It might, let's say, drift higher first, test this area, and then reverse back down. You know, then that's something like could be possible. I can reuse this upside line, and I can do it this way because it's a nice, good upside line here. So basically, good potential idea to consider. If we do break it, then yes, maybe, yeah, we'll consider a bit of downside. But look, don't get me wrong, it's all still tentative. So I'm drawing these lines just to kind of try to find some sort of justification for doing certain things. You know, we still accept the fact that not everything works 100%. So just kind of remember that, guys, and adjust yourself accordingly, adjust your positions accordingly, adjust your stop losses and take profits accordingly. And, you know, and as always, I say, risk only what you can afford to lose. GBPUSD. So looking at the picture here, beautiful move. I talked about this 1.2391 territory. Look, I've mentioned this area. I said to you that I need to see a drop below this, and then my next target is the 100-day EMA with tick. And then my next target is the 200-day EMA. Not tick yet, but we're, in a way, we could be getting there. So for that, I would need to see a drop below this 100-day EMA right here, and then we could take it from there, guys. So long story short, if you're looking for some further declines and you've missed this territory here, keep your eyes on the 100-day EMA, because look, we might bounce around here a little bit, maybe push back up, maybe test this area. You know, if we, for example, rebound and we kind of retrace back up here, test the 1.2392 from the other side, from underneath, but we struggle to push further above it, then maybe a nice decline here could be possible. I will draw something else here as well, a downside line, which for now could be something that we could stick to. And if we do break this downside line, at the same time, we would be probably placed above all of the EMAs on my daily chart, and that could be a nice positive signal. But again, when it happens, then we'll do something about it. But we'll keep that in mind, this scenario in mind. Quick update on GBPUSD. So far, so good. Look, I talked about this barrier right here, the 1.8775. We cleared it. We went higher. My next target was the 1.8926 tick. Now my next target is the 1.9037. I'm still aiming for that. Look, I'm still going to stick to my guns here, but I'll aim for that if we do push above this barrier, this 1.8926. If we struggle with that one right now, then maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible, but still I'm going to remain somewhat bullish if we continue to trade above this upside line. But if we do clear this barrier, then yes, my next target is 1.9037, approximately around there. GBPNZD, yep, beautiful move. Okay, yesterday I kind of was hoping maybe to see a bit of a retracement of some sort, but this is unstoppable. So hey, in general, guys, GBPNZD, if you manage to get the trend, the direction correct, honestly, this could be a gold mine. However, at the same time, it could be a massive trap, because if you are doing counter trend trading, it could be might not be the best pair to trade, because honestly, believe me, I got burned on this one as well, because it just does one-way traffic. It does really like that. So it's very, very trendy. It's like if it captures the trend, that's it. It goes. Yes, we do have these occasional kind of reversals, but it basically, I think that for the most of the day, it just kind of goes one-way traffic, and then it, you know, at the end of the day, it just kind of reverses and then it goes back down. But again, so what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't have many reversals. It doesn't have many like reversals, let's say, during the day. So just kind of stay, cautious with this pair. But if you manage to capture the correct side, congratulations. You could be a millionaire on this one. But at the same time, it can take you out very, very quickly. But look, in general, what I said to you, that if we do stay above the 2.0150 territory, somewhere around here, I will stick to the upside. My next target is the 2.0393. And then I'll go from there. I'm not going to improvise here too much. I'm just going to stick to that game plan. If we do fall back below the 2.0150, I'm going to go lower. Yep. EURCHF, look at this beauty. Look, so far so good. This falling wedge idea is working out, because I said to you that, look, we rebounded from the lower side of it, because after this falls breakout, yes, we rebounded and we went higher. Then I said to you that from the shorter term perspective within the falling wedge, we could go higher if we do push above this 0.9723, and we did. And we managed to stay above it, and we continue to stay above it. So in a way, there's still hope that we could see an up move here. The only problem is that, look, in general, I get it. I said it myself a lot of times that these patterns tend to break to the upside, but a confirmation break is needed. A break above this territory, above this upper side of the falling wedge, that's what we need in order to go higher. If we don't get that, well, ignore. Because still we could go lower here while the boundaries of the falling wedge remain intact, we could still go lower. And in this case here, look, if we do fall back and stay below the 0.9723 territory here, then yeah, maybe we'll go to the downside again. towards the lower side of the falling wedge. EURNZD, just a quick update as well. This one's, yeah, I talked about this and I said that if in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above the 1.7557. I got that, great. So now what's next? Maybe, just maybe, we're gonna have something around these lines here, maybe, you know, a bit of a rebound, a retracement back down. And as long as we stay somewhere in above this highlighted zone in general, I would say I'm still bullish and I'm going to aim for the upside, where my next target could be somewhere around here, maybe. Well, actually, this territory, I think that, yeah, I need to mark this territory roughly. So, and this is exactly where my arrow ended. So, a coincidence, beautiful coincidence, but something in the back of my head was saying to draw this arrow only up until here. But anyway, so yeah, for the downside, actually, not that I need to see a break of this territory and on this pair. Actually, I would like to see a drop below the 50-day EMA. I would like to stick to that, guys. If we do drop below the 50-day EMA, I will go a little bit lower. And finally, EURUSD, before I run out of time. So far, so good. Yeah, look, we fell below the 1.0760. I talked about this. I said that if we also stay below it, further declines are possible. My next target is the upside line here, taken from the low of the 21st of November of 2022. And also, I'm going to aim for that 200-day EMA shown. Here's the black line. Nothing to invent here. Otherwise, everything's clear. For the upside, a break of this downside line is required. And I know that we could be missing out on some territory here and blah, blah, blah. But hey, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Look, if you want to squeeze something out here before this downside line, you could keep an eye on another downside line, which is a little bit on the tentative side, of course. But hey, this downside line is taken from the high of the 16th of May. If we break down, maybe, yeah, maybe it could attract some buyers, and maybe we could see something like this happening. But, you know, just kind of stay cautious, stay careful, I would say, and everything will align itself perfectly. Now, long story short, for now, I'm still targeting the downside as long as we stay below the 1.0760 territory. Yes, my next target is the upside line together with a 200-day EMA, which is approximately around that 1.07 territory. Plus minus here and there, 100 pips maybe. Oh, sorry, not 100 pips, 10 pips, and, you know, plus minus could be possible, yeah, but I'm aiming for that 1.07 territory. Okay, guys, thank you very much. That's the first thing I want to say before ending this video, this webinar. Thank you very much, guys, for your comments, for your likes, sorry, not likes, for your rockets, for your views, for your time in general that you spend, you know, an hour with me. Honestly, I hope I hope I don't know. I hope I do something good here, and I hope, you know, you find these videos useful. If you do, thank you. Just kind of maybe, you know, drop me another rocket or something. This is me begging you for another rocket. But anyway, guys, look, thank you very much. I will say, if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock GMT time, then we're going to have a look at some of these instruments, some new ones. Maybe we'll see where I find good, you know, setups, because in general, we're all traders here. We're trying to find some good setups and, yeah, position ourselves correctly. So in general, guys, have a beautiful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Don't overtrade and risk only what you can afford to lose. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Uh-oh, you just broke a digital image cursing us all to 7 years of market volatility. Undo by subscribing to our channel.